I'm Steve Jacobsen. I'm a volunteer mediator with the center. I was a high school teacher for many years, and then later in life I started working at a mediation center in upstate New York and moved back here to Lewisburg several years ago and became involved in the local mediation center here. What we do here in terms of mediation is based on a relational view of conflict. We believe that people have the need for individual expression to live out their lives as individuals. At the same time, we all have a need to be in relationship with others. And we spend time trying to balance those needs. Most of the time we don't really notice it. We just go along being able to keep those needs under control. And as a matter of fact, a lot of times in our lives we have conflicts or disagreements which get resolved rather easily. But sometimes we get stuck. And when we get stuck, we've sort of fallen off this balance point between meeting our individual needs and trying to meet our need to be in relationship with others. And it's at those times that conflict becomes hard to deal with. We may feel weak, we may feel self-absorbed, we may feel confused, bewildered, what's going on here, what's happened with the other person, what's happened to the relationship, and so on. So our model of conflict is to try to help people deal with those issues that are happening in their lives. The other piece of our work that's really important to understand is what our view is of helping one another. Lots of times when we think of helping, we think of getting in there with a pickaxe or shovel or whatever and pitching in and doing the work that needs to be done. Helping in our model is not quite the same. In our model, helping means trying to help people get to a point where they're able to build their relationship with the other person, they're able to build their feelings about themselves and gain strength, and then resolve whatever issues there may be between them using their own capabilities and their own assets. So we as mediators aren't in the usual helping model of telling people what to do or making them feel like we know what it's like because we've been there, but rather helping people regain their strength, their self-confidence, and helping them rebuild relationships that may be broken or may have been weakened during this period of conflict. Now that's easier said than done. Our training is fairly extensive. It's about 40 hours, followed by role-playing where we practice these skills with other mediators in situations where some of the mediators take on the role of parties who are in dispute and others take on the role of a mediator. And it takes lots of time to try to develop those skills. And we've all learned that every mediation, every conflict is different. So what we may learn in one set of role plays may not transfer all that well to the other because conflict varies so much between individuals. But the important thing is that we focus on the interaction between the folks who are in front of us. We don't pay a lot of attention to the specifics, the details of the conversation, who said this, who said that, which children did that, which grandmother did the other, and so on, but rather focus on how people are trying to have a conversation. And we have some techniques that we've learned in our training that help us assist people to get stronger, to listen better to the other person, and to engage in a communication that can really be constructive. So that goes to what's important in terms of how we as mediators see our goals. We don't really see ourselves as problem solvers or as conflict resolvers. We see ourselves as conversation enablers. So what we try to do is to help people have a better conversation with one another. And if out of that conversation, one or both people gain strength and gain a greater insight into the relationship and discover, hey, this isn't who I am anymore. This relationship is not what I want to be in, and we need to terminate this and do something very different. Well, that's okay with us. We've succeeded. We've helped people get more clear. We've helped them get stronger. We've helped them understand the other person a little bit better. On the other hand, a very common outcome of mediation is that people make some kinds of agreements. Sometimes they make agreements that they'd like to write down and have us transmit to the court. Sometimes they make agreements that are just between themselves, and that's fine. Sometimes they understand that other people that are involved in their relationship may need to participate, and they might want to come back for another session, and that's fine too. So we're really very flexible about our outcomes. Our goal is to try to help people improve communication, get from this bad spot where they've fallen off this delicate balance between meeting their own needs and meeting the needs of being in a relationship, and moving to a place where they can get back to that place where they can feel more self-confident and more aware of what's happening with the other person. So that's what mediation is about.